everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We have with us an actress and star of the new movie Return to Sender, which is coming to UPtv this weekend. We have Maddy Hillis with us. And Maddy, thank you so much for coming on and talk with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so this is your first time on the podcast. We like to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got inspired to get into acting.
Ooh,
I know.
oh
It's
my
it's
gosh, that's a big one.
it's a big one to start on.
Let me think. My name is Maddy Hillis. I, oh, okay, that's a toughie. I kind of have two different answers. I grew up as a dancer. That was my main priority.
Okay.
And my mom was an actress. So I had an agent through her and did little commercials, but I never cared about acting. I wasn't very interested. If it conflicted with ballet class, I was not showing up. And then probably about 8 years ago, I kind of transitioned into acting and decided to put myself in a class and try to be good at it.
Okay.
So
Was your
that's,
mom in anything that we know or
yes. Well,
yeah.
maybe. She was in Happy Gilmore, which filmed
Oh.
here in Vancouver, and
Uh-huh.
she was pregnant with me. So my
Oh.
embarrassing thing that I always say is I should get that credit on IMDb. I'm like, there I
Yeah.
was. That was my first
Yeah.
acting credit.
Right.
Yeah. So.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, do you remember your first role on camera that you ever had?
That's a good question. For film and TV, my first role was Supernatural. And I was killed by a demon nun. I was dragged down a staircase, kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
That's
that was
dramatic
that was it was dramatic. And
for
then
your
from there
first
on
one.
out, I just kept getting killed. There was something on my face. They're like, we must murder this girl on screen. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that would be fun to at least have something you could just kind of go for it for your
yes,
first one, you
yeah.
know?
Big commitment. I did all my own stunts. I think from dance, I was so comfortable and excited about it. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, started with a bang.
Yeah. I noticed that you've done a bunch of thrillers. What's that like to be on one of these thrillers?
They're very intense. It's a
Yeah.
lot of crying. Often these like Lifetime movies, the shoot, same as Hallmark movies, it's pretty tight, like a
Uh-huh.
15-day shoot. Um, so it's hard because you're having so much fun, you're getting to know the cast, and then you start rolling and it's like crying, screaming, carrying on. So you're pretty drained at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's heavy content. You're grieving your friend who died or whatever it may be.
Uh-huh. How
Oh,
do you
yeah.
get yourself to cry on camera?
Well, I'm a good crier. This
Are
is
ya?
something I've
Yeah.
always been. I'm just a weepy person. Like I'm like anything happy commercials. I'm just like, pff. So I love music. So I'll listen to
Uh-huh.
music or depending on what I'm working on, I'll make a little playlist kind of for the character, whatever I need.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. I'll take my 2 minutes and then just there it comes.
Do you have something that okay, I'll think about this and it'll get me to tear up.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Be like my grandpa because I miss him so much. That would get me up every time.
And every time it does. Yeah, I have a few little things to grab onto that'll just take a minute. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
there it is. Mhm.
that's cool. That's very good. Uh, so yeah, you've done some Christmas movies, and what's that like? Like seeing like this like Winter Wonderland like unfold in for your eyes.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so cool. I love all these like Hallmark movies and the Netflix rom-coms that come out
Uh-huh.
this time. Usually, I know, I'm sure you know this, we film this stuff in the summertime.
Yeah.
So we are all sweating in our parkas and
Yeah.
pretending we're chilly and have our little mitts on.
Yeah.
And then they call cut and we're all like taking off all the heavy layers. But it's beautiful and it's amazing. They
I
do.
guess at least with Christmas class reunion, that was mostly inside.
It was mostly inside, and I was her assistant. So I got to live in the
Okay.
office for the whole movie.
Oh, that's good.
So
Yeah.
I was spared the heat in September, whenever it was we filmed that. Yeah.
That's good. And you've done a couple movies with Lacey. That
I
must be
love
fun.
Lacey. She is an
Yeah.
angel. I have done a couple movies with her. I did one Hallmark rom-com and then one of the murder
The
thriller
mysteries.
ones.
Yeah.
We got along so well. She is such an angel. And when I did the rom-com with her, she was just like, I love you. I want to work with you again. And she messaged the casting director. And then for her next
Oh, that's
project, I
nice.
just got to, yeah. And it was the same director, David Winning. So it was just, yeah, it was
Oh,
amazing.
that's cool that she remembered and she did that. That's
I
way cool.
know. I feel like
Yeah.
most people you would just think it's like, oh, that's just talk and that's really
Right. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But no, she followed through, message casting. I got a little note and yeah, we got to work
That's
with
awesome.
her.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
You ever gotten to play the murderer in one of these thrillers or in the mysteries?
I haven't, and I
Oh,
wish I would love to play the
yeah.
murder. I've played Mean Girls a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Never the actual killer, but I've played the mean person a lot.
Yeah. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Especially if you can
so
camp it up.
fun. Oh my goodness. It is so fun to be,
Yeah.
you get to like any kind of rage you're holding or if you're having a bad day, you just like you're allowed to let it out. It's your job. So
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Return to Sender. This coming out this weekend on UPtv. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a sweet little movie, and I could almost feel if this was a pilot to a show, I would watch that show. It almost had that energy to me.
I would love it to be a show. Let's put that out there.
Let's do
it out there.
Well, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about the movie?
Yes. So it was described to me, which I thought was a really great depiction of it, as the sitcom Friends, sort of the ensemble cast element of Friends, meets Only Murderers in the Building without more the mystery, meets sort of the Hallmark movies that we all know and love. So it's kind of this mashup.
Yeah.
Of all.
Have you ever seen or heard of the Postables, the Signed Sealed Delivered? Because I think it has a lot of Signed Sealed Delivered energy. I mean, especially because you've got a letter and everything, and so I think that if people are jonesing for another, Postables movie, if they want something, I think that this will fill that, scratch that itch.
I love that. 100%. Yeah. So I guess basically it's about I play the character of Meg, and she moves into this new apartment building and finds this weathered old pink envelope addressed in her mailbox, marked Return to Sender. And I join the building manager and two podcasters in the building to kind of figure out who sent the letter and reunite these two lovers.
Yeah.
Premise.
Yeah. So you get to actually follow, there's, including the love story of the letter, there's actually 4 love stories total within the film, which was really fun.
I love that. It's a 4 for 1. Usually
Yeah.
it's the two main people, which is lovely and
Yeah.
wonderful. But yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think often you don't get to see this sort of age range
Yeah.
displayed in Hallmark movies. It's usually like mid 30 somethings.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that it's a bunch of 20s who are lost and maybe a little
Yeah.
bit messier than what we're used to seeing, just kind of trying to figure it out and how,
Yeah. Well, and I
yeah.
liked that it's about this, basically everybody's at this building, right? And
Mhm.
they have like, I forget what they called it, but they have like regular dinners together. They have community, like,
Yes.
and I've been hoping that Hallmark, now this is UPtv, but I've been hoping that this brand of type of movies would sort of embrace the take the small town feel of what they're known for, these kind of movies, and bring that into like a building, a city building, a city borough, kind of a thing. And so it was very cozy, I think.
I love that. That's a great word to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So was it fun? I saw a thing with Marky and saying that would end up breaking quite a bit and making everybody laugh. Was that a thing?
My gosh. It was I thought this would be like not an easier medium to jump into than the thrillers and some more dramatic content, but I was like, "Oh, great. Like we can carry through laughing and having a good time into rolling." He made it impossible. Like we all had to have a little sit down with this man. He's like, "I'm just trying to keep the energy up." I'm like, "You're trying to get us recast."
Yeah. You're like, we only have 12 days or
Yeah.
whatever for this. Like,
Yeah.
calm
Our
down.
lovely director, Heather Hawthorne Doyle, was,
Yeah.
we need to get it together. So we would be like digging our fingers into our palms and
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
Well, this was fun. I mean, Heather's, of course, she's incredible, and then it has a female writer, Sarah Holman.
Mhm.
It's really just a unique kind of energy to this project with that.
It felt from like the first time I read the script, it was so interesting for like what you're saying with this genre. It felt kind of like a different, fresh take that I hadn't necessarily seen before.
Yeah. So, did you like self-tape in order for the role, or yeah?
Yes, I did. I taped. Oh my goodness. It came up months before it was shooting. So I did a self-tape in maybe April. And then 2 months later, I think it was, I got a call back and an in-person call back in Vancouver. And last minute, the night before at like 10 p.m., I get this frantic call from casting about a different project that they had flown up this actress from LA. She got food poisoning. They needed me to be there the next day. So I ended up missing the return to sender callback because I was
Oh, wow.
working on set and I was kind of frantically texting my agent, trying to figure out, do they still want to read me? Do we want to Zoom? How do we want to do this? Or did they find their person in the room? And at 7 p.m. that night, I got a message being like, hey, could you hop on Zoom and let's read with the producers? And then the next day, I got a call that I got it.
Gosh, you must have been so excited.
I was so surprised and overwhelmed. What I was working on was she had this big kind of scientific monologue. It's this Apple TV show
Oh, okay.
with Taron Egerton, who's
Oh.
amazing. And I was so intimidated and so kind of wrapped up in my own thing that I was like, what are you talking about, Return to Sender? I have no idea. Like, are you joking? So yeah, it was really exciting and felt very meant to be.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, so your character, she is very structured. She's very like but she's worried, very, very stressed about this test that she's doing, the CPA exam, but she doesn't really have any passion for it. She's just doing it because she thinks she's supposed to. Is that right? Is that how you took it?
That is right. It's kind of this heartbreaking thing about this character that she has never really stopped to think about what she wants. She's just kind of idolized her father, who is also an accountant, and done everything right and got straight A's in school, and just kind of assumed this is the correct thing to do rather than stopping to ask, is this something that I even want to do, or what am I passionate about?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, when she moves into this building and meets like Ollie, the building manager, who is a writer, and all these other creatives, she kind of starts, they start asking her questions, and she realizes like, oh, maybe I don't want to be an accountant.
Yeah, it's hard to know though sometimes, because you want to pursue your passions, but so first of all, sometimes it's hard to know kind of what your passion is. Like, what do you know? What do you, not everybody is blessed with just like knowing exactly what they want to do in their life, but then also like uh it's like, how much of a backup should you have? Like, it's hard. It's tricky, I think.
Totally, especially
Yeah.
if you're a practical person. This is
Yeah.
something I actually could really relate to with this character about being an actor, and I'm also a writer, kind of trying to, yeah, be logical about what you're doing. And you obviously be smart, and if you want a family and this and that. So
Yeah.
I did get that. She's like, okay, this accounting thing isn't feeling correct, but I don't know what the other thing is. And if I do that, what if I fail?
Yeah.
I think is
Well,
very
so
critical.
how would you describe your relationship with Ollie, with Markian's character? Would you say you were like enemies to lovers at the beginning, or what would you how would you describe that arc?
That is such a good question. I I think from my perspective, I would say maybe closer to friends to lovers, because I think she's kind of, maybe she's a
Mm,
little annoyed by him, but pretty quickly she starts enjoying her time with him, and he's kind of bringing out this new side of her,
yeah.
and it's sort of an excuse to hang out with this mystery that we're all wrapped up in. And I think they do build this really nice friendship and
Yeah.
relationship until kind of the very end, when she realizes like, oh, I actually like him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you two did have a nice chemistry, and I felt like the whole cast in general had a nice chemistry together.
Oh, that is so sweet and encouraging, because we had so much fun off screen that it's so nice to have something actually translate, because you never know what it's going to end up
Uh-huh.
like in the
Was
end.
this your first like lead in one of these rom-coms?
Yes, this was my first ever rom-com lead, which was so exciting.
That's
I know
so cool.
I was listening to this to your podcast, of course, and you have all these like Hallmark veterans on. I was like, oh, I'm so honored to be here. It is yeah, it was my first, but Markian has done a ton
Yeah.
films in this genre. So it was awesome to kind of be able to lean on him. He gave me some
Uh-huh.
advice. So yeah.
Yeah, he's great. We've had him on the show before. He's so charming, so fun.
He is, it's annoying. He is so charming, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Had he fully, I know he had like an injury on set. He like fully recovered from that and everything.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
fully recovered from that. He was filming a documentary.
That's
But
right. That's right.
yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. I really enjoyed the whole relationship between the two podcasters.
So
That, I mean,
sweet.
that really
That-
was friends to lovers, because
yeah.
they had doing this podcast together, and they really, had built up that friendship. And it's like, ooh, do I rock the boat?
Oh my gosh, 100%. It was such a pure, sweet relationship. And
Uh-huh.
for Sophia, who plays Ellen, this was kind of her first, like
I
she just
loved
moved to
her.
Vancouver. I love her. It was
Yeah.
just moved to Vancouver from Ohio. And I think she was Ohio, LA, Vancouver. And this was her first job, bigger film job in
Ah.
Vancouver. And she was just such a star and so sweet. And kind of, I think some of like maybe when she's tentative or feeling like, ooh, not sure, it reads in the best way for her character. It's like she got to open up with her
Yeah.
character. It was amazing.
Well, it was so good because like I liked Ian a lot in this role too, because he was like trying to still be like, oh, we could still be friends. It's trying to be a grown up about it, but you could see he was like devastated.
Dying inside, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Totally.
and and it's kind of like once that thing is out there, like you might as well give it a shot, because there's no going back regardless.
It can't be unsaid. Yeah, you can't sit or eat the words.
So you might as well try it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what she comes to realize, is that like that it's certainly worth the shot, and like she would always regret it if she didn't. And it was very sweet. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
I also really enjoyed the letter couple. Yeah.
They were so sweet too.
Really good.
Goodness, I know, with the fishing expedition. Yeah, I don't want to give too much. Yeah.
They were really, really cute. That basically like he had there was kind of a friends to lovers story there too.
Yeah.
And she had turned him down, and then she had sent this letter, but then it didn't come. And so but he had still like nursed this flame all these years. Which is
so I know it's like the classic romantic in you. You're just like, oh,
yeah,
that to be me. Yeah, someone's just like holding on to you for years.
Yeah. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Harper Thread Press and Lindsay Detweiler and her new book, The Holiday Bake Off. Nothing can stop Lucy Carter from chasing her dreams until her boyfriend drops the bomb and tells her he's leaving her for someone else. Complicating things, she gets a phone call from her ailing grandmother asking her to return to the small town of Star Creek to help out with her beloved bakery. In the name of family loyalty, Lucy is forced to leave her aspirations behind, but the bakery's newest employee, an expert baker, handsome Will Westerly, might get in the way of her holiday. To get all of your holiday sweets reading in, make sure you check out The Holiday Bake Off by Lindsay Detweiler. You can get it wherever you purchase your holiday books or online and use the affiliate link below. It's The Holiday Bake Off by Lindsay Detweiler. We know you'll love it. So if you were going to building breakfast, what would you bring to the building breakfast?
Yes, backyard breakfast. Building breakfast I like more though, to be honest.
Is that what it's called, backyard breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very organized. What would I bring? Oh, you know what's embarrassing about this? Because I am not chefy at all. I love cereal. So there's this whole bit, of course, in the movie that she kind of has this like, I don't know, bran cereal that's boring. And she kind of, it's like, I think it's a bit of a metaphor. She starts trying new food and doing the thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am such a cereal girl through and through.
Yeah.
Like the corn pops, or if I'm going crazy, Lucky Charms. Like I love cereal. Yeah. So
do you have a favorite? Like what's your favorite cereal? Because I love cereal too. I'm with you.
What's your favorite? You're going to say one and I'm going to say, I wish I said that. I forgot about that one.
Well, yeah, I've actually done a whole blog post about this, but I really like Crispix. I really like Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds.
Okay, that one is great. Yeah. I've never tried a Crispix.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm adding it to my list.
Yeah, you should definitely try it. And the thing about Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds, I don't know why the almond one is way better than the other ones, but but you have to eat it instantly. If it gets soggy, it's over.
Yeah, I can't get soggy. I am also a Cinnamon Toast Crunch fan as well. Yeah. Depending on the mood, because it makes like the milk all cinnamony.
Yeah. Yeah. And being Cinnamon Toast Crunch too is one that is like very snackable. That you can just eat separate from the
dry
milk.
cereal. I know it's dangerous. I have to stop myself. I'm like, we can't have 4 boxes this month. Like, let's
yeah, I really like Cocoa Krispies too. Like if I want like a chocolate fix, but I don't want to eat that many calories, like it's a pretty good choice.
There are endless good cereal options.
Yeah, there really
I
are. I
think we
agree.
validated this. I feel more confident.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
bring cereal to backyard breakfast and maybe fresh squeezed orange juice. My Nana
Ah,
swears by
yeah.
fresh squeezed orange juice. If you're sick, no medicine, no doctor, just a fresh squeezed
Yeah.
orange juice, and apparently you will be healed of all life's problems. So that would be
And I had a roommate who would make this, she would make this concoction when you're sick of she'd heat up orange juice, lemon juice, a little bit of vanilla, and I think a little bit of like honey or sugar or whatever. And heat it up. It's so good. You have to have orange juice that without the pulp,
right.
otherwise it's the texture's weird. But I mean it's just like a vitamin C bomb. I don't think it really helps you much, but it does taste good when you're sick.
Vanilla. What a crazy ad.
Yeah,
I
vanilla.
would never have thought of that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm thinking what would I bring to the building
Yeah,
breakfast? I mean I do love cereal. I love breakfast in general, and
same.
it's like the best when somebody can make you breakfast
Oh,
because
it's a love language.
yeah,
And
it
then
really is.
it is.
I the other day I was visiting a friend and she made just like simple pancakes and I was like, these are so good, so yummy. She's like, oh, they're just like Bisquick. I'm like, are you kidding? You made me breakfast.
Yeah.
Nobody
Like,
ever
this is
makes me
huge.
breakfast. Yeah. And because
Oh,
my mom didn't my mom had a baby when I was a freshman in high school.
oh,
And
wow.
and so obviously like that was pretty overwhelming.
Yes.
And so she usually didn't make breakfast. We would just have cereal or something like that. So when she would make breakfast, it was like this is exciting. This is so fun.
It's a big deal. Or
Yeah.
breakfast for dinner. I'm a big
Oh,
breakfast.
I love that. Yeah.
Ooh, what a treat.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Are you team waffles or pancakes?
That is such a controversial
Yeah,
question.
it really is.
Like, yeah, that is really
Yeah,
difficult. I think I think pancakes, to be honest.
yeah,
I think pancakes.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
with
same.
my family. My family is waffles or French toast. They're big French toast people
Hmm.
as well, which I feel
Yeah,
like is the other alt. But
yeah,
I think just a good classic pancake, even like you're saying from the box.
yeah. I agree. I
Maybe that's
agree.
just my laziness. I'm like, doesn't take time. Doesn't need
Well, I
time.
mean, I feel like pancakes. You can't do it wrong. Like it's sort of like pizza that way. Like
Exactly.
like
You
I
can't go
love
wrong.
pizza that's like fancy and brick oven and whatever, yum. But like I also just like
Just order one up.
cheap,
And you're like,
whatever.
that's
It's just
great.
always good. Pizza's just
Yep,
good.
100%. That's like a
Yeah,
pancake. I'm
yeah.
with
Well,
you.
if we ever have a breakfast themed podcast, I think you and I would have lots
This,
to talk
I
about.
know. This can be the opening episode.
Yeah, yeah,
These girls love breakfast. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh, well, what was it like as far as just filming some of these scenes where you have like all this kind of exposition and like just getting your lines and saying it with enough like were you nervous, especially being your first lead? How did you deal with that?
That's a good question. I was a little bit nervous. We were really lucky before filming. Heather got us together. So I had a coffee date with Heather and then Markian
Oh,
came,
nice.
got to meet Markian. And then we also got to do a cast lunch before filming, which is very rare. Usually you're just thrown into it and have to meet everyone on the day. So I already felt really comfortable with everybody, and it was the most supportive group. So I think after like shake off the jitters of day one, we were so busy and had so much content to get through that I kind of forgot my nerves. There was almost like no space
Yeah.
for them. But there was a lot of memorizing. I would drive myself to set in the car. We were filming probably like 45 minutes away from where I live in Vancouver. And I would record myself the night before saying the lines and just
Oh, is that your strategy?
I do, and listen to my dumb voice as I'm driving, like repeat it over and over. So when I got there, I was pretty on top of it.
Uh-huh.
But I
Yeah.
could, and yeah, Heather was really gracious. If there was like a comma or an and or something I missed, she wouldn't. Sometimes people kind of get on you for that.
Yeah.
It's like it's okay.
Yeah. Well, she's a pro, so she knows what's going
Exactly.
on.
She
Yeah.
knows if you need to say something that you missed. Exactly.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the movie yet? Have you gone to see it?
I have gotten to see it.
Oh,
Yes.
good, good.
Recently, I just got to watch it.
Are
Mhm.
you an actor that you hate watching yourself act, or are you good with it?
I'm trying, I'm really trying to be better at that. I think because so much of acting is auditioning, I've gotten really good at watching my auditions objectively, being like,
Uh-huh.
that's not good. I think when I see a final product of something, I'm always like, oh, I hope it's good. Or I'll like think about like little things that I do, and I'm like, oh, I don't like
Yeah.
do this. But overall, I was so excited when I saw this. I had a pretty good feeling about it when we were filming. And then, yeah, I just trusted Heather and our producers so much that I knew it was in such good hands, and they would take care of the edit and take care of all the actors and make sure they chose the good takes for us.
Yeah, I
So,
know that like some creatives are like super critical, self-critical of the things, but like I've never felt like I could really do that very well as far as
Mhm.
the podcast and things, because like it's just me talking with my friends, it's like I can't think of
Exactly.
any other situation where you'd be having a conversation with your friends and be like, well, I could have done better with that, I could have, like it's just sort of weird.
Yeah.
And so I've never felt like I could. And probably, I mean, the podcast would probably be better if I could be more introspective, but I don't know, it's just it's a weird dynamic of so I'm just like, yeah, just let other people let
It
me
is.
know if I
And I
can
think
do better.
that's the thing. Other people will judge because they always do, or there'll be lovely people out there who are super supportive. There's no point, especially in a creative pursuit, in kind of beating yourself up or
Yeah.
getting down on anything, especially like making a movie or making a podcast, anything
Yeah.
creative. It's such a feat to to do it.
Yeah.
So I think be
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just move forward. Like you can't,
Yeah,
what are
you
you
can't
gonna do?
change it now. So what's
Yeah.
the point of like belaboring how you feel like, oh, I
Yeah.
shouldn't wink my eye that way. Like no one else is gonna notice.
Was
Mhm.
it fun for you to see your the scenes that you were not in, because this has all these different relationships? Was it fun
Yeah,
to see that in the finished product and be like, oh my gosh, look what they're doing there was such good work there?
it was so exciting to see because this was another amazing thing about this ensemble cast is that it wasn't all on Markian and I. There was all these different stories going on. So to see specifically, I never really got to work with Sydney Scotia, who plays my best friend in the movie. We only actually had a few scenes together, and Mike, who plays Markian's little brother.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Forgetting his character name. I'm using real names. This is going to make it all confusing. But the other
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah.
story, yeah, I didn't get to see any of that. So I'd hear about it the next day or like, oh, it's looking really good. So it was so fun to see it because I had just, yeah, read it on the script. So it was amazing to see it all kind of come together and all the comedy of that. It was great.
Well, and to see like the Felix and Mary story, that must have been fun to
Oh,
play
it
out.
was so much. And even
So cute.
Ian and Sophia, who play Ellen and Pete, the podcasters, there was a ton of that they had like, I think one crazy day on set that they did all of their podcast stuff and everything together.
Oh really?
And I didn't see any of that either, because when we're all together, it's mainly mystery associated and kind of putting together
Uh-huh.
clues. So we didn't get to see sort of these romantic moments between anyone other than
Uh-huh.
each other.
Yeah.
There was all this drama on set about everyone's kiss because everyone gets
Uh-huh.
a kiss and how it
Right.
ends.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those intimate scenes, that must be a little bit nerve-wracking.
It is. This was my first, I've been playing a lot in my career, teenagers
Mhm.
and really young people. So I haven't had really, I'm trying to think. I haven't had, at least in like rom-com sphere, like the final I haven't had any on-screen kiss. So again, really
Oh.
relied on Marky, and he was great. He was like, tilt your head this way for the light. And he had like his whole like toothbrush kit. Like he was awesome. So he was a professional with the kids. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, and I'm sure Heather was able to help with that too.
100%. Everyone was so supportive. So anytime I was like, oh gosh, I hope this is good, or I hope I do this well, everyone just like put my nerves at ease and was saying,
yeah. Well, I did enjoy it. What would you say to somebody who's like, what would be your pitch that this is unique? Check it out to watch it.
I think my biggest pitch for this movie and what I was really excited about is it is this ensemble cast of 6 friends-ish, interconnected, who are in their 20s just trying to figure it out, and they band together to sort of reunite these long lost lovers in this mystery. But what really excites me about Return to Sender is you get 4 actually with Felix and Mary, 4 love stories in one movie, which I think is so fun and so exciting, and there's so much room for more exciting things to happen.
And it felt like that they were pretty well developed. I think the writer did an excellent job, Sarah.
Oh my goodness, at weaving everything in.
Yeah, like I definitely want to talk to her. She's very good.
Yeah, I think this was one of her first scripts as well, which is amazing. Yeah.
And I find that a lot of the case, because we've talked to tons of writers over the years, but a lot of times if something's working and I'll look at it and then this feels fresh, this feels out, it's first time writer, and it's like, okay, they're bringing that energy.
Someone new coming onto the scene.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I really thought she did an excellent job with the script here and making it, because it's hard. You only have 80 minutes. It's tough to make that all work.
It's hard just to get one love story.
Yeah, it really is.
Conflict and get people to come together. So 4 is, an absolute feat. But I do think, it's just really fun. There's got this like nostalgic feel to it of all of our brick apartments. And it does feel kind of like Friends. And I just think it's really fun and fresh and something I haven't seen really before in this genre.
Yeah. Definitely.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Well, we have some get to know you questions we like to end with.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Okay. Rapid fire. Okay. First question is, what's the best ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Okay, good. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Oh, that's good for Hallmark.
Right?
Christmas color. Yeah. What music are you into right now?
Oh, that's a hard one. This is going to be a weird answer. I love jazz music. I put on jazz records in the morning and it brings me peace. And I know I sound kind of like an old man when I say that. I also love like a good Taylor Swift bop or anything like that.
Do you have a favorite era for Taylor?
I think I kind of like the Reputation Red one. I kind of like the Fury Revenge one, I think is my go-to.
Outside of like show tunes, because I love theater, musical theater. Outside of show tunes, I'm like so out of the musical scene. I'm just like, I don't know if it wasn't in the like 90s, 2000s, like I like what? And but I went because I'm a film critic. I went to the Era's concert, whatever. And she was incredible and it was amazing. But I think I knew 3 songs.
And you were like, and everyone's singing every single
No,
word.
really, they were, because
What
I
is
went
this
opening
for?
night
Yeah.
and everybody next week was just freaking out, which I love to see, and singing along and stuff, and it was really fun. But yeah, I was just like, I'm so out
Like,
of it.
and it's hours long, that concert.
Yeah, it's really long. Yeah.
Right? I do love musical theater. I was just in New York and I saw
Oh,
Wicked.
ah,
I'm very excited for the movie, so I have been listening to that soundtrack too.
yeah. Oh, that's good. Did you see anything else while you were there?
I saw Wicked and I saw Play Oh Mary, which is
Oh, that's supposed to be hilarious.
it is so crazy and funny. I cannot recommend it enough.
That's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, I am planning a trip in December. In fact, I'm really excited because I've been working as a theater critic here in Utah where I'm from. And I got approved for the first time to review a Broadway show
My
in
God,
in the
that's
December
huge.
trip. So and get comp tickets and everything.
Congratulations.
So that's very exciting. I can't believe it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But I love show tunes, and I am like incredibly forgiving when it comes to movie musicals. I like ones that nobody likes. I still like it was
We're like,
fun.
guys,
Come
look at what
on.
it's done though.
Yeah.
It's so
I
hard. I have so much respect for people who can sing. I cannot sing at
oh
all. So
yeah.
it's to act and sing and dance. I'm like, that's
Unbelievable.
insane what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, my problem, I'm not like the greatest. I certainly not Broadway level. I can sing decently. It's pleasant enough to listen to. I think my singing, it's the dancing. I am the worst.
We just need to combine you and I, because you're
Yeah.
you're an actor too, right? You have
Yeah.
this thing, I can dance. We're a triple threat when we come together.
Well, it's like in White Christmas, they Vera Ellen, they dubbed her voice, but Rosemary Clooney, she's a terrible dancer. Of course, she's an amazing singer, and would say like it's too bad they can't dub my dancing.
Love my dancing.
And if you watch that movie, like anytime they have an excuse to put something in front of Rosemary Clooney in the dance sequences, like they have her with like all different kinds of weird costumes, and like anytime that she can be obscured in some way, she is. It's just really funny.
It's now, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go watch that back. And I know. I'll be like, there it is.
Yeah. So that's my curse, is I'm just really bad. So bad. But I love it so much. All right. What is your go-to date night food?
Italian food. I love Italian food. I think, period. That's the answer to that. Italian food.
Okay, good. What is your go-to date night activity if you're going out doing something?
Ooh. That's a good one. I mean, I love watching movies, but I don't think it's as good for a date because you just kind of sit there and don't get to interact.
Well, we always say if you do the movie date, to do movie and dinner, not dinner and a movie, because then you can talk about the movie at dinner.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
That's so true. It's a good talking point, but there has to be the dinner portion, or else you've just sat in silence next to each other and then
or like go and get ice cream or drinks if you think, or just
something,
go get coffee, something like that.
I think my dream date night, I love going for dinner, definitely for dinner. Maybe I'm going to Cirque du Soleil in a few weeks, and honestly, that's a pretty good date night. Dinner and Cirque du Soleil, maybe.
Yeah, that would be really good because there's no plot, so you could like chat a little bit, like while you're watching.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. That's a pretty good one for me, and
not too loud, like a concert.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So concert's awkward sometimes. I think
you can't talk.
You can't talk. What if you don't know the lyrics? I don't know lyrics to anything. You're like singing wrong things. It's embarrassing.
Which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Which do you like better, beaches or mountains?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm in Vancouver, so lucky we have both. I think I have to say beaches because I love the heat and I love swimming. So I'll go with beaches.
Yeah, I'm same. I'm definitely team beaches for me, even though I live near the mountains.
You have to hike often to get to it.
I mean, hiking is an inherent part of mountains.
Exactly.
It goes with it.
Sometimes I don't want to do the workout. Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say Christmas.
Yeah.
I think Christmas. I have such like warm, amazing family memories growing up at Christmas. Everyone would come to Vancouver. I think Christmas.
It's hard to beat Christmas. It's like a whole season, especially if you're a Hallmark fan.
Oh, and it's so charming. I also my family celebrates Hanukkah, so we do a
Oh,
Christmas.
right.
So we have all the stuff going on. So I think, it's like a 2-in-1, and it's hard. You're right. It's just hard to beat Christmas. It's so heartwarming. My best friend's favorite holiday is Halloween. And I'm like, I think that's crazy. But
well, you know what? For Halloween, I almost enjoy the preparation for Halloween even more than the actual day. Like, I really think it's fun, like putting together the costume and
it is, especially any like theater kid. They're like, well, I get to perform. I get to put on a thing, which I do. But I think Christmas has to win.
I'm excited because my best friend Jax, who co-hosts this theater podcast that we do together, she's coming into town for Halloween this year. So we have a couples themed costume, and we're doing both of us are we're dressing up as Dear Evan Hansen, but but then we're gonna be she's gonna be Devil Dear Evan Hansen with devil ears, and then I'm gonna be Angel.
That's amazing. Every person who is a theater kid listening to this is going to steal that idea. I'm going to be Evan Hansen now.
Just tag us. If you steal the idea, I'm fine with it. Just tag us. We want to see your evil.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I mean, I wanted to do something with Wicked, but I was just like, it's just gonna be too expensive. I can't.
It's a lot of green. Well, depending on who you're gonna be.
It is a lot of green.
It's a lot of green. Yeah. Paint.
It's true.
Hard to get off. The hassle.
All right, last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Oh,
I know it's tough.
I think okay, I have two. I know that's cheating, but I'm gonna say The Notebook. I watched that. That was so formative for me.
Yeah.
It's just like, I want to be Rachel.
Too bad you didn't get to see the musical.
I know.
In New York,
I tried so hard to see it. That's why we went to Wicked. We couldn't actually get into The Notebook. But I think, I just wanted to be Rachel McAdams. I was like, this one is perfect. It is the perfect love story. I cried. I think it was one of the first movies I ever cried at. And then also, I would say How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is just like, I don't know. It's just got the good enemies, really fun. Lovers, fun. Yeah. So I think
choices.
That's right too.
Yeah, that's good. You've got a comedy and you got a drama. So
exactly. And they're both movies.
Yeah, very good. Well, you did it. You answered all the questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming to talk with us. And if people want to follow you on social media, all that fun stuff, how do they do that?
Yes, at Maddy Hillis. That's it. I'm just basically just on Instagram.
Awesome. We will put all that in the description. People check it out, and I hope you have a great holiday season.
Oh, thank you so much. You too. Thank you for taking the time. This is awesome.
I'd like to thank Maddy for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her, and I really did enjoy Return to Sender. I think Bree and I are going to do a whole recap of it because we liked it so much. So let us know what you think if you get to see it and what you think of all the things we talked about. I would love to hear that in the comment section. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really, really appreciate that, especially this time of year. It helps us so much to have those reviews and the 5-star ratings. Please, please, please. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our patron group, and that helps us so much. And you can be part of watch-alongs. I would not be surprised at all if we end up with a Return to Sender, Return to Sender watch-along, because it really is a fun movie. And it's probably the best one from UPtv since Mixed Baggage. So yeah, that's saying a lot. So So check out the Patreon. I would really appreciate it. And then we have the merch store where you can get some fun new holiday movie inspired designs. We have Die Hard, we've got Christmas Story, we've got The Grinch. All that's in there. Check it out. And thanks so much again to Maddy. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.